Isn't it funny how everything old becomes new again, especially when you long for something that you've missed? And I've been doing this long enough now to reminisce. Commercially, I've shot with everything: iPhones, hybrids, digital cinema cameras, and my old Warhorse. But in the end, it's the storytelling approach which dictates what camera is right for the job. Today, we're diving into the original Blackmagic pocket cinema camera, an iconic piece of equipment that made a huge splash when it launched back in 2013. And since then, countless amazing projects have been crafted using this very basic camera. "12 years ago, I didn't buy this camera, as at the time I owned one of these and chose to rent the Pocket instead. When needed, we would build them out into full-blown production monsters, perhaps making them way bigger than what they needed to be, in some sort of pseudo attempt to justify to producers the power the camera delivers in such a small package, which really works against their design. You have to consider that the Pocket OG performs best when subjects are close to the lens and film most of the HD frame, which is exactly how I used it to shoot this iconic board game ad back home. But after buying and rediscovering the joy of this camera last year, I found a greater appreciation for it. Now I find myself just taking this everywhere to document our lives here in France. Most of the time, I found myself using it just like this, just a couple of lenses, a good cage for protection, and a power plate. But when I shoot like this, it comes with some gigantic caveats, being wide angle or stabilised lenses only. And that's because this topic is something that gets avoided a lot in these romanticised retrospective reviews, being the poor readout speed of the sensor. But even though the rolling shutter performance is terrible and the resulting micro jitters in the footage when the camera is stripped this back is utterly soul destroying, luckily today, like I've mentioned in my 2.5K review, DaVinci Resolve has improved so much over the years that what used to be a real headache to fix can now be repaired with a click of a button, really making it a bit of a moot point. In fact, now you can even slow the footage down using optical flow, easily have real-time playback in post, and push the raw files in grade way further than before.
We're young, you saw a photo of someone like me and dreamed you'd become a part of the story I told you. Sometimes it's hard to see a light, but keep holding on. Your arms are mine and they are so strong. No borderline could keep out of reach your dreams and mine.
Many today will argue that in comparison to newer modern cinema cameras, where the Pocket struggles to contend is with wide shots that contain a lot of detail. While this may be true for some, I still think the images look amazing. They retain a much more organic feel and can be scaled easily in post if resolution is the issue. And really the biggest factor determining the quality of the footage you'll get from an OG are the lenses you choose to use with it. My current favourites are this 25mm 7 Artisans f1.7 prime because it's fast, compact and budget friendly. A 12mm 7 Artisans T2.9 Vision Prime, also very sharp but has an amazing close focus distance with a neutral colour tone, so it intercuts well with this 10mm SLR Magic Hyper Prime. And when I need to go really wide, cram the camera into a small tight space or attach the camera to something, this Laowa 9mm 0D Dreamer fits the bill. But as I said earlier, most of the time it's just like this with a 25mm lens, ND and a wrist strap. It still fits inside my jacket pocket or small bag, but pretending the battery life is great when the camera is this stripped back would be an outright lie. You just have a limited runtime before you need to swap them out. 4 or 5 normally get me through a day unless I'm using a stabilised lens, and they're not that expensive to buy on Amazon new anyway. The combination of sensor size, dynamic range, colors and codec produce a very special organic image. I think this is why people are gravitating back to the camera more than 10 years later. Even with all of its pitfalls, it's an undeniable steal for sub $350. Mine was sourced for much cheaper from a huge special effects company in France, has already paid for itself and should tell you all you need to know about the viability and the filmic image quality of the OG. Shooting raw cinema DNG plays a major part in this camera's unique look. Compared to the newer Blackmagic cameras, the file sizes are smaller, also play natively in Resolve and can use any color science. Or you could just shoot ProRes, which many of the modern Blackmagic cameras can no longer do. Really today, if you're looking for one of these, your biggest expense is going to be media cards. Unlike when this camera launched, card speed and reliability is no longer the issue. It's cost. But over at Angelbird's refurbished store, you can now get the cards I recommend on the cheap. Seriously, I get asked this all the time. The two I recommend are the V60 1TB card for ProRes, mainly because they're cheaper. But if you intend to shoot RAW, your safest bet is a V90 card. Just remember, whatever you spend on cards like these isn't lost, as they can be used with any modern camera. Now, today, after owning one for a bit, I'm currently on the fence of whether to find another one and make one of them just my everyday carry, or if the nostalgic collector in me is just getting out of control. What is clear is that the amount of available working cameras that are in excellent condition are starting to diminish. So the time is probably now if you've ever wanted to own an original Blackmagic pocket camera. For me, this is all the camera I personally need, but I know, like everything in life, it's just not going to last forever. So I think I will let the collector in me off the leash to get another one, so whichever one fails first can become parts for the other.